State College, Pennsylvania, one of the quintessential college towns in America, home to Penn State University, the Nittany Lions, and Beaver Stadium, where today the Big Ten Network is proud to bring you Penn State's 2022 Blue and White game. And welcome inside the broadcast booth here at Beaver Stadium alongside Penn State legend Matt Millen. I'm Rick Pizzo. Former Nittany Lion quarterback Matt McGloin joins us from field level in just a minute. And speaking of quarterbacks, Matt, very familiar face back for Penn State. Go round number 6 for Sean Clifford, and James Franklin says it's the best spring Clifford has ever had in his career.
Well, he's had 5 others to get to this point. I can't imagine Rick playing 5 spring games. They're the worst experiences of my life. But having said that, what he brings to the table is a lot of experience. He's been there, done that on a lot of occasions. When he needs big plays, he's been able to make them. They'll need all of that this year for this Nittany Lion team.
They wanted Clifford back, both to play and to shepherd the next group of quarterbacks into State College as James Franklin and the Nittany Lions get set to take the field for the first time in 2022. Terrific crowd on hand to watch and get their first look at Penn State and their first look at new defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. He takes over for Brent Pry, runs a similar scheme, has just as much intensity, and most importantly, James Franklin said he is ready to make an immediate impact on this defense.
He might even be more intense than what Brent was. And this is a guy who brings a lot of passion. He loves the coaching position. He loves doing this. Look, he's been there and done that. He's been a head coach already. He had great defenses down at the University of Miami. This is a guy who's going to bring a lot of experience and a lot of enthusiasm for this defense. One of those guys you can feed off of.
The message he is sending to his defense, take it personally. Anytime someone gets a yard on you, you should be mad. That's what I want from my defense. We want to bring you the Blue-White game from State College, and we'll do it right after the break. Welcome back to Beaver Stadium and the 2022 Penn State Blue-White Spring game. Time for us to check in with the third member of today's broadcast crew. Matt McGloin has more on this new-look offense for Penn State.
Yeah, guys, and when you take a look at this offense and the areas where they need to improve, the obvious answer is the run game. And part of that group is the 2 highly touted freshman recruits, Nick Singleton, Gatorade Player of the Year, and the number 2 prospect in Pennsylvania, who they felt like has been better or as advertised. And sharing those reps with him is Katron Allen, an IMG Academy prospect who James Franklin has been better than advertised. And don't forget about the veteran running back. Kevon Lee averaged almost 5 carries a year ago. James Franklin feels like he has been stronger and faster this spring.
James Franklin deciding to go this first segment of the spring game special teams heavy. We'll see a couple of 2-point plays, some point afters, some field goals, situational. Now there is no scoring to this particular segment as Sean Clifford gets things started under center for the Nittany Lions. The handoff right to the 5-star Nick Singleton. Officially a 2-point conversion, but again, no scoring here in this first segment, and Singleton comes in with a ton of height, Matt.
Well, it's easy to see why. Singleton is one of those guys who's got great speed. He's got a mature body on him. He can make you miss, and he can beat you with power. Those are combinations that they're hard to find, which is why he's so highly recruited. He'll show you what he's got. I mean, I watched bunch of his film so far this spring, and he's legit. Yeah, top-ranked running back in the 2022 class, the National High School Player of the Year. I mean, he has absolutely all the credentials. Clifford now replaced by Christian Veyu, a guy who this coaching staff really believes has taken a big step from last year to this spring. The thing that I like about Veyu, he just lets it rip. Yeah, he's not afraid to make a mistake, and everybody's going to make some of them, but watch it, he just, right there, made a decision that the ball's done. Nice
Straight
throw.
Over the middle, Jaden Doughton in the back of the end zone. That's a nice throw. Ton of zip, right where he needed to put it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's standing in the pocket, and he had some pressure on him, and his eyes were fixed where he had to go. See, he just let it rip. Not a big deal. Boom, I know where I'm going with that ball. That's the part I like about him. I think he's improved a bunch since when we first saw him debut last season in season.
Let's go down to Matt.
And I know it's only been one play, but you're absolutely right, Matt Millen. The feet were calm in the pocket. He brought some depth a little bit, if you notice, a little bit of interior pressure there, but that's the throw that you're looking for. Top shelf, back of the end zone, where only his receiver can get it. I mean, it's been talked about how well he's done throughout the winter and throughout the spring, and, you know, I know it's only been one play, but what a difference for Christian Bayou.
So we're done with the two-point conversions. We'll go to the field goals, and this is an area that James Franklin told us when we spoke earlier this week. There was a little bit of concern. Jake Pinniger returns as a guy who, from this distance, was one of the go-to guys for Penn State, but from the longer distance, they often went with Jordan Stout, the punter, who's now gone.
Yeah, Stout, his name will be called in a couple of weeks. I guess that's next week. Pinniger's, look, this kid's he's very capable, and he's capable from the deeper ranges as well. It's his job now, and so we'll see what he can do. But he's been money.
Yes, we're looking at 20, 32-yarders here. These are the kind of situational field goals, obviously, that you feel like as a coach you have to have. And Pinniger, that has to be a good sign for James Franklin moving forward, a guy who has to have a lot of confidence in throughout the course of the year.
And there's a lot more to when you're kicking a field goal or an extra point than just the guy kicking the ball. There's a lot of timing up front. You know, you got the snap, you got the hold, you got the guys on the inside. You know, it takes a lot of practice, and that's what we're seeing right here.
And now we'll get our first look at Sander Sahadak, a redshirt freshman kicker, probably second right now on the depth chart at the place kicking position. Now again, we're just doing field goals right now, some specials in the first segment. We do have 8 segments coming up throughout the course of this Blue-White Spring game that will be scored. We'll see some 11-on-11. We'll see some 7-on-7 skeleton drills, get more into that traditional offense to defense look. But Matt, as you well know, every coach will tell you at the end of the day it's not 2 phases, it's 3 phases, and they all focus on special teams. So many tell you that'll be the difference between 1 or 2 wins over the course of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the college ranks, you can get a lot more, especially young players, you can get them in on a special team. But at the next level, heck, there are guys like Parcells did for years, and Coach Belichick does now. They put their best players on special teams. And so you'll just see you'll see a Lawrence Taylor running down on a kickoff, or players of that nature.
Yeah, a couple from Pinniger, a couple from Sahadak. Offense will now rely on traditional scoring. You get 3 for the field goal. The touchdown is 6. Add the point after. A little bit different for defense. A touchdown is worth 7. You get 3 points for a turnover, 2 for a 3-and-out, a sack, or a safety, 1 if you force the offense into a punt at any point. And this segment will start with the offense at the -35. Sean Clifford coming back out under center. And it looks like Kevon Lee, the veteran, joining him offset to the right in the backfield.
Kevon Lee looked faster to me on film this spring.
Came in about 235, a cut 235, gets the handoff up the middle. That's what he can do. He can drive you and then offer a little bit of burst at the same time.
Yeah, so what we call that running behind your pads right there. So he's excellent at that.
Yeah, he can about accelerate. 5. You get 5 every time on first down. Mike Yursich going to be a very relaxed offensive coordinator. That sets up a 2nd and 5. Clifford changing it at the line of scrimmage.
That's the experience you see coming out.
In the shotgun, saw the pass look. Instead, he hands it off, and once again, up the middle, it's Lee driving for some extra yards and picks up the first down for the White offense.
So let me make something perfectly clear. So Kevon Lee has always had great skills and great talent. And so then you say, well, why haven't they been running the football as well, especially the last 3 or 4 years? But really, this offensive line is where the whole thing takes place. And they're not a finished product right now. They've got some guys coming in. They got guys banged up. But the offensive line is where Penn State has to take the biggest step, both in the run game and also in protection.
A couple of young guys coming in to bolster that offensive line, as well as a transfer, Hunter Norzad from Cornell. Run game and Lee bottled up a little bit there. And Matt, you mentioned the struggles a year ago, one of the worst rushing defenses in FBS football, less than 110 per game. Most importantly, just about 3 per carry. Both Yursich, both James Franklin, they said in the offseason we have to be and we will be more committed to the run.
Yeah, but they really have to get better in that offensive line. And like I said, this is not a finished product yet, and it's still a work in progress. I have confidence in the fact that they'll get there.
Empty backfield for Sean Clifford here on 2nd and 10. 5 wide receivers in this set. Clifford to his right, looks over the middle. Keandre Lambert-Smith, nice throw, timing throw from Clifford.
Yeah, smart. So what Clifford's doing, they're spreading the field, and so they're going to get 3 to one side and 2 to the other. So you go to the side of the field that has less defenders, and you work the inside. Make sure that receiver gets the defender on his hip, and then an accurate throw is a first down. It's like stealing.
Lambert-Smith doing a nice job getting his foot in the ground. Nice cut to keep the defender off. Back to the run game. Up the middle. This time Lee with just a couple of yards. Nice stop on the inside there. And this defensive line also a little bit of a work in progress right now, Matt.
Yeah, they're figuring it out, but the guy's not figuring it out. I like a lot on the outside is Kalen King, the corner. You saw him come on a corner blitz right there. They didn't account for him. He made the play in the backfield. He and his brother are very good. I really like the linebacker, Kobe King, number 41. You'll watch him. He's got really good instincts on the inside.
There's a good chance he could get a look at the Mike position, which is a little bit wide open right now. Redshirt freshman didn't see the time that Kalen saw last year at corner, but certainly a guy that will get much more of a look in the fall of 2022. In motion, it's Lee to Clifford's right. Clifford looks that way, nothing there. We're going to tuck it down and run. Pick up 6, 7, 8, and of course, no one is allowed to touch the quarterback in these kind of situations. That isn't, if you want to see the field come fall time when it really counts.
Yeah, that wouldn't go over real big if you took a nice shot on a guy right there. What you're seeing right there is the experience right there of Clifford.
And that's why, in case folks are wondering why Clifford is the only offensive player in blue, that's the sign for the defense, just if you get a little bit excited, to remind you that's not a guy that you bring to the ground.
He's one of ours. That's what that means.
3rd and 1 now for the offense, and the handoff to Lee straight up the middle. Big gain down to about the 21-yard line. And Matt, that is exactly the situation Mike Yursich talked about. We have to run it even when the defense knows we have to run it.
Yeah, and so that's on. Kevon Lee just does an excellent job accelerating through the holes. Once it's there, then you hit that extra gear, lower those pads. He's a powerful runner.
Drags Kalen King for a couple of yards there to set up a first down just outside the red zone for Clifford and this number 1 team offense. Again, it's just Lee, single back next to Clifford. Lee gets the handoff off the right side behind some blockers, turns it to the outside. Nice cut on the inside to pick up a couple of more and finally drag down inside the 15-yard line.
Always like running backs who are patient and run with their eyes. And what I mean by that is when you see it, you have to take it. Here's the patience right here. He doesn't see anything. You know, right here, boom, now get up the field. You stick your foot in there, run with your eyes, get up the field. Really well done.
Nice job by center Juice Struggs, who the staff is really high on, getting out from that center position and the kick-out block to free Lee.
Yeah, former guard. He can run. He's moved on to the inside. He'll get better as it goes because there's a nice adjustment time right now.
Clifford from the shotgun to pass all sorts of time. He goes over the middle. I believe there's a flag on the play over by the 5-yard line.
Nice drag route underneath.
There was Malik Mega on the catch, another young guy that this staff is high on, but we believe this one could be coming back.
That's good speed, though. See, Franklin's over there lobbying the official.
Yeah, see, that you're not allowed to do in the fall. Reggie Smith is not going to agree to James Franklin standing next to him when these games count.
He might, laddie. He might.
A little bit of a conference here. The play was down inside the 5-yard line as the officials decide exactly what the infraction may have been.
They're having... Yeah, that's probably going to be on that offensive player.
Holding.
Didn't look like he got in.
Number 24.
Yeah, holding on the offense. Good call.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Never saw the official from that far side signal whether Mega had gotten into the end zone. Now it's a moot point as this offense will have to do it all over once again. Nice sign, though. Nice start for Clifford. Made some nice throws. Obviously, the offensive line is doing a nice job for Kevon Lee as well.
Bingo. So that's the whole thing. So what you saw on these throws is he had time. And, yeah, he got rid of the ball quick a couple times. And then another time he just took off and ran when it opened up. But when he had time, he could set his feet, throw, make a couple of really nice throws down the field.
So James Franklin unsuccessful in his effort to lobby Reggie Smith and this officiating crew. The hold is called.
He was really asking what he's doing for dinner later on.
As long as he's buying, that's probably the case.
Exactly.
Clifford calls out to protection as Lee once again in the backfield, 4 wide receiver set. Clifford looks over the middle, throws, overshoots his man, looking for Lambert Smith once again.
Had him on the left side. That time didn't quite set his feet as well, a little bit off his back foot. When he gets in trouble, that's what he does. He'll kind of anticipate some things, and then he gets on his back foot and lets it go too soon.
That'll bring up 3rd and 3 for this first-team offense. Clifford told me as much. Had a chance to sit down and chat with him on Thursday. He said if there's one thing he has to work on this year, it's accuracy. He says when he gets rushed, that's the one thing that fails him, often goes high to receivers, exactly what we saw right there to Lambert Smith.
And that is all from the neck up.
So on 3rd and 3, one of those likely run situations, Yurcich calls a run, and it's Lee dragging tacklers, but he's come up about a yard short of the first down.
They're going to go for it, so this is a chance for this defense to pick up some points, if I understand the scoring.
I believe you do. Any 3 and outs worth 2 points for this defense, regardless of where you are.
3 and out went out the window a long time ago.
So I don't know if 4 and out counts, if a defensive stop counts as 3 and out. We'll have to clarify that scoring situation as it is. Clifford under center on 4th and short. Stacked line, and it's Kevon Lee makes a man miss, and that's going to be really close.
And if he got it, that's all Kevon Lee. I don't know exactly. It's wherever they placed the ball. Right foot, it's a first down. Left foot, didn't make it.
Well, the offense says it's a first down. The defense, of course, says the points are ours. And the verdict is first down for Kevon Lee in this Penn State offense, which remains on the field.
Watch the end of this play. No, he doesn't quit, right? Make you miss right there. That's nice. Gets back inside, runs into his own guy in Caden Wallace, and then the troops show up.
Yeah, Caden Wallace done a nice job. He's impressed this coaching staff, but that's not going to help right there when you're holding your running back up and picking up the first down. So it is 1st and 10 inside the 15. Clifford with some pressure to the right, goes to the left. Throw outside to Mitchell Tinsley, and Tinsley is in the end zone for the first Penn State touchdown of 2022.
Nice job by the 2 receivers out there. Looked like Warren was one of them, 44. And Lambert Smith was the other 13. Nice job of blocking. That's exactly what it is. They're going to go out. You got one-on-one. You got to get your block. That's a really good job by those 2. The tight end and the receiver on the outside. Tinsley does a nice job of just following his blocks.
And how about Tyler Warren? He's a guy Mike Yurcich said is best described as a, quote, animal. Loves to watch him out there blocking.
Really well done by Warren.
Extra point for Pinniger is up, and it is good as the offense strikes first. Take a 7-0 lead as we head down once again. Check in with Matt McGloin.
Yeah, that was somebody I was really interested to see how they performed today was Mitchell Tinsley, the Western Kentucky transfer. Now, listen, I'm not expecting him to come in and replace Jahan Dotson, but this is a guy who Mike Yurcich has talked about who brings good energy, fits in that wide receiver room, and I think if we can see him in a position where he can do what Parker Washington did a year ago, then this offense and that wide receiver group has a really special chance to be electric this year.
Yeah, Matt, the one thing that I like about him is I think Jahan Dotson had some of the strongest hands that I've watched, but this kid catches the ball really well away from his body with hands only. He's one of those guys who can pluck.
So 9 runs, 4 passes on that drive for the offense, once again showing that commitment to the run. So we'll go now in this segment to some special teams, but there will be another offense versus defense drive. That was a lengthy drive, Matt. I'm guessing we'll likely see the 2s from offensive standpoint, mixed in with some 1s in that next drive. But first we go back to some special teams here for the Nittany Lions.
Well, what you wanted to see out of your quarterback, you saw. And a couple times, we saw and we documented it with Matt McGloin, when he gets a little nervous in the pocket, he'll get some happy feet. But when he's calmed down and he's in the pocket and protected, he can step and throw as good as anybody.
In the pocket and protected. We mentioned Hunter Norzad coming in. You mentioned a couple of young guys that really should help on that offensive line as well. But there is some gelling. The offensive line is a really tough spot because it's not just one guy, it's 5 guys. Everybody has to be working in concert, and I think That's why Mike Yursich told us you never have enough guys, especially on the offensive line, to know exactly where you are at the end of spring ball.
And when you have one, you know it. And he's there for good.
So into some kickoff situations now. That's Gabriel Nwusu, redshirt freshman. And another flag down. That's not the way they want to start the kickoff situations.
Sure. We'd like him to at least get it into the end zone. It went out of bounds, so they threw the flag.
There are 2 fouls on the play by the kicking
And
team.
again, Franklin said
Offside.
that he believed Jordan
Kicking
Stout was
team,
maybe...
Number 80. The penalty is declined. Free kick out of bounds. Number 3. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, first down.
Said that Jordan Stout was maybe the most important specialist in the country last year, thinks he's a guy that has a huge future at the next level, so they're trying to figure out exactly how you replace him in the punt game and also in the long kick game.
Well, that's one of those things that's easier said than done. Penn State, over the course of years, has really done well with kickers. You start talking about the bars all the way through to Stout. We've had some good kickers through the years.
So they'll re-kick, but this time Nwusu will be watching as Jake Pinniger gives it a shot. Plenty of accuracy, just working on that leg strength.
Kick.
They go into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. Yeah, this is something, Matt, that always interests me during the spring. Guys trying to fight for their positions, and some of those guys who are between 1 and 2 or between 2 and 3, they know that maybe the best way for them to get on the field is on specials.
Oh, absolutely. Special teams are huge, especially in college football. I mean, the next level, special teams is a job, right? And that's how you make it. That's how you make it. Here, it's just getting a chance to play. And so, man, you want to take that next step up. So, yeah, you show a lot on special teams.
All right, a couple of kickoffs there, and then we will get back to offense versus defense coming up here in just a second. Every Big Ten team, every Big Ten sport customized your way on the new Big Ten Plus app powered by Big Ten Network. You can stream hundreds of live, non-televised events, plus next-day re-airs. It all adds up to a bigger Big Ten. Download and subscribe today. All right, back to offense, defense, and as expected, Sean Clifford on the sidelines, replaced by Christian Veilleux.
I like what I saw on film.
Veilleux with the handoff. Our first look at Katron Allen, one of those highly touted freshmen, along with Nick Singleton in the backfield.
I heard Matt McCloy talking about Allen and also Singleton. Katron Allen is more of a power guy. He's got great speed in a burst, but he'll dip his shoulder and he'll run through you more than Singleton. Singleton will try to make you miss. Nice cut inside. Really good job with his feet and reacting to where with his eyes. That's running with your eyes right there.
Yeah, and going with a little bit more tempo as Singleton picks up about 8 yards on his first 2 carries. It'll set up 3rd and 2 for what is the second team offense for the most part out there right now. Obviously some ones will be sprinkled in at different positions, but great to get a look at Veilleux. There was a lot of talk about whether Veilleux would stay as the number 2 guy. I think he kind of answered that question through most of this spring.
There's a lot to learn here, but Veilleux's ahead of the curve.
So Veilleux back to Allen, and this time going absolutely nowhere. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Jake Wilson was right there first. I saw number 94, and then I think you're going to like this kid, number 28. That's Zane Durant. And they got in a stunt inside there, but Zane Durant got in the middle of that thing, and Wilson, the kid from Nazareth High School, Jahan Dotson's old high school.
There was just absolutely nowhere to go.
This Durant kid, he's got some quick twitch in him. His first 2 steps are pretty darn good. He's not a really big kid in terms of height.
Undersized D tackle listed as, yeah.
6'1", like 270-ish, but I like him.
So give a couple of points to the defense, and Durant there with the stop. So now you got the scoring down, Matt. They get 2 for the 3 and out. So the offense leads the defense 7-2 as we go back to specials. And I think this is the biggest area in the specials where Franklin and this team needs to figure out exactly what they're going to do at punter. Looks like Mitchell Groh, the redshirt freshman, going to get the first shot here.
Looks like you got Tinsley back there.
Yeah, and kick and punt return was also a little bit of a question. Who would be returning the kicks and the punts? It's interesting to see the Western Kentucky transfer, Mitchell Tinsley, back there to receive this first punt. good hands. Nice hang time there for Groh. So it's 7-2 offense at this point. Not sure if we're going to do one more punt here or we go back to the offense-defense situations.
Looks like another punt.
Yeah, we're rotating back and forth here. Going to usually do 2 special team situations in between drives for the offense versus defense. So now we see our first look at Gabriel Nwosu as a punter. We saw him as a kickoff man before.
Oh, that's
serious hang time.
Good kick. Kingsley handles it like it's his job.
A little bit of a bobble there. Could see Hardy, Singleton, Devin Ford, all those guys could be in that mix for the punt return, kick return, as that wraps up this segment with the offense on top, 7-2. So I want to reintroduce my broadcast partners from yesteryear, though. Matt, you remember these days. I mean, look at the neck roll. This is the pre-HD era, by the way.
All I know is you get off the ball quick.
And then Matt McGloin, this is actually part of the Big Ten Network era. Remember covering Matt during our career here. Threw some lasers during his time at Penn State. I'm sure, listen, we've seen him down in the field in the kind of shape he's in. He can still do that right now.
Yeah, I think if he could, he'd be up at the next level still.
Matt?
Well, although I can't see the highlight, guys, I like to think I look pretty good on film there still. But yeah, it's been 10 years since I've taken a snap in this stadium, but let me tell you something. The feelings don't change. The emotion doesn't change. It's always exciting to be back inside Beaver Stadium.
And the sun has come out. It's turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous spring day here for the Blue-White game. Veyu back under center, getting another drive here for the Nittany Lions. Floats one deep, had a man out there, but unable to connect.
Yeah, they weren't on the same page. Warren broke it on an out, and he threw it more vertical, like more of a fade.
So in this segment, Matt, we'll see this one drive, offense versus defense, and then for 8 plays, we'll go to 7-on-7. Skelly, skill players out there, a lot of passing drills in that one.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Veyu had a nice look last year, completed more than 50% of his passes, kind of in replacing Clifford on certain occasions, running the offense here, little inside pitch, picks up maybe 1 or 2 on that one, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for this offense. That was Malik Mega on the inside handoff.
Yeah, Mega he didn't have a chance. It was taken away right from the beginning. This is going to set up like 3rd and 12-ish or so. Passing situation. This is right now, Penn State does not have a pure pass rusher like they had with Arbichetti. They need to find that guy, and they believe they have one coming in. They believe they have 2 coming in.
Of the guys that are there right now, Diaz says Adisa Isaac, probably the most consistent pass rusher, but Manny Diaz is a guy that wants to rotate in 8-9 guys on that defensive line if he could. Veyu looking deep again. And again, he's looking for Mega, but that one's overthrown as well. Nice job by the defense there. Quick 3 and out. Grab a couple of more points.
Yeah, there you go. Pick up a couple more. Well protected. Just that takes time. That takes a lot of practice together, actually, that route.
So here, Jursic and Veyu having a conversation, and it sounded or it looked like Veyu was kind of telling Jursic exactly what you said on the first one. He threw it to where he thought the receiver should be. The receiver wasn't there. This is spring ball. That's going to happen a lot. But from an OC's perspective, what you want to see maybe more than anything else is to have your guys be on the same page.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, that's the one thing. Now, keep in mind they've practiced for, what are they, 13 practices that they've had? This is 14th one, I believe, or 15th. I can't remember. But not a lot of time to get on the same page, but ready or not, here you come.
So I believe the schedule shows us 8 plays here of 7-on-7. Everything is a little bit malleable and flexible inside these spring games. but these plays will count toward the team score.
No, this will not count. So,
this will count. These will count toward the team score. So explain, what's the reasoning behind 7-on-7?
So right there. See, that's exactly why you're doing it. And for what we were just talking about on the previous play, that they weren't able to get on the same page, that's what 7-on-7's for.
Really nice connection to Mason Stahl there.
Yeah, so what you're saying is something like that. A 1-2-3 step throw. It's all your timing routes, getting on the same page with receivers, you seeing the same thing that the quarterback's seeing in the defense. So you just strip away the defensive front, and then everything's the same thing. Let's see, 1-2 step. He sees it. Now the ball's out. Then there's coverage, and now he's going to take off and just live for another down.
And there's some serious coaching going on right now by James Franklin at the 40.
There's always a lot of coaching going on in the 7-on-7 stuff, defensively and offensively. And so, really, Rick, things come down to position. Things come down to your first two steps. Things come down to how long you look at a guy, or if you're looking at the right guy. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in a split second.
Yeah, and going back to that previous play, you got to push towards your quarterback, go where he's going. There's only one guy on the side of the field there. That scramble drill, guys, that's a way to get creative. Everybody needs to fly to where the quarterback is, and he's got to press to get to that sideline to try to find a completion late in the down.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what James Franklin was trying to explain to Amari Evans there. We got to get a little bit of extra help in those type of situations. Quick little out timing pattern there to Nicholas Singleton. We get our first look at Singleton in the pass game coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, it appears he has natural hands. In high school, he caught the ball pretty well, but he'll get a lot more opportunity here at this level.
So now in at quarterback, Drew Aller, the highly touted. He is a big, young fella coming in this spring out of Medina, Ohio.
Threw it behind him. He had him, came back to his second look, maybe a third look, depending on what went on the front side. He came back to the back side, threw it a little behind him.
There's Ohio Mr. Football in 2021 and the first five-star quarterback recruit to come to Penn State since Christian Hackenberg.
Hack had great success and then didn't. It was, I think, when he could change with the coaching staff, that was a difference for him. A little bit behind him there too. There's a pick.
Little tip drill picked off the hands of Omari Evans, and that'll be an INT for the defense. Pick off by Bobby Walczak. This throw again, Matt, just a little bit behind Omari Evans.
Yeah, exactly. So these are throws that he can routinely make. Threw behind him again.
Timing not quite there right now. He was looking for Liam Clifford, the younger brother of quarterback Sean Clifford in the pattern.
Yeah, Clifford got wide open, got on top of his guy. That's a little better throw, makes a big difference.
One more look here for Aller, maybe over our allocated plays. We can tell the coaching staff really wants to get a good look at what this young man has to do. Nothing there. James Franklin signaling in the backfield to his receivers to go to a spot. It's Mason Stahl incomplete, unable to get that 1 foot inbounds on the throw from Aller. And I believe that wraps up this segment, and we are all tied up. Nice segment for the defense. It's 7-7. Much more from State College in the Penn State Spring game next. Reggie Nelson began the game as our referee here for the Penn State Blue-White game, but the woman that you see in the white hat to the right of Nelson, to the right of Reggie Smith, I should say, is Lachelle Nelson. She is going to be the referee moving forward in this game, and at one point we will have an all-female officiating crew. This is in conjunction with the last 2 days here at Penn State where the Big Ten and the College Officiating Consortium hosted a diversity, equity, and inclusion clinic trying to help a group of diverse officials move on to the next steps in their career. And at some point, not sure if it's going to be right now, but at some point during this spring game, we will have an all-female officiating crew on the field for the Blue-White Spring game. And we'll have more on that story coming up at the half here at the Penn State Blue-White game. As we head back to the offense versus defense, the more traditional O versus D drive, and Drew Aller staying in at quarterback, handing off. Not much there for Penn State's run game to start this drive.
Got a bunch of, looks like you got some second team guys in there offensively on the offensive line and also on the defensive front.
And obviously want a better look at Aller here, surrounded by guys in a more live situation after a little bit of a struggle there on 7-on-7. Aller looks to his outlet, not there, goes over the middle. Nice read, connection. Pick up with Jaden Dotton, knocked out of bounds at about the 50. Nice gain for Drew Aller on the throw.
Nice little pick play in the middle of the field. They're just running a crossing route and hoping somebody comes clean, and he does on the underneath side. Defender gets dropped and picked up on the inside.
A couple of catches for Dotton already on the day. This segment will have this one offense versus defense drive. We'll follow it up with another special team segment. The special team segment, again, not part of the overall scoring. Aller keeps on the fake handoff off to the left side. Gain of about 4 on the play. Sets up a 2nd and 6 for the Penn State offense. He's got some decent mobility for a guy of his size.
A tall kid. He's just a kid. He'll grow into his body fast.
He's got the body of a grown man and the baby face of a 18-year-old as he is. Back to pass, a little bit of pressure there. Nice rush coming off the edge. Dominic DeLuca gets to the quarterback.
Yeah, he's got to be aware of that edge all the time. You've got to be able to see that. He's coming clear, and he has it. Not only him, but the offense as well has got to be able to see that. And you got to tag it as soon as you get to the line of scrimmage. Make him aware of it.
And that sack officially worth 2 points for the defense. Again, not taking the quarterback to the ground, but he was there, so the defense goes in front 9-7. Sets up 3rd and 11 for Aller in the offense. 5 wides, no one in the backfield alongside Aller. Looks to his right, throws underneath. That's complete, but well short of the first down. Liam Clifford with his first catch on the afternoon.
So will that count as a 3 and out?
It will, as Aller and the offense head to the sideline. That'll be a 3 and out.
It's a 3 and
so
out.
A couple of more points for the defense here once they post it on the board. 1 point to be exact, as the defense takes a 10-7 lead over the offense, so we head back to specials. And so what do you think, Matt, when you see young quarterback like that, knows the situation, it's 3rd and 11, he's looking downfield, he obviously doesn't see what he wants, he makes the throw to pick up 2 or 3, and in that situation, you put yourself, if we were in a real game spot, in position to put your special teams out there and maybe try to pin the other team deep in its own territory.
Yeah, so what you see is just a young guy. You see, he's getting a feel for it. He's got a long ways to go. And you're thankful that you could have that here. You don't want to be able to. The worst thing that could happen is he gets stuffed into playing in the regular season, and he has to learn all this stuff then. That's a bad sign.
All right, so we go back to special teams and the punt game. It's Mitchell Groh. Seen Groh a little bit before on the punt. Some decent hang time there. A couple of different returners we've seen so far in the punt and return game. That's Daquan Hardy, who will get some time, more likely in the punt game, in the return situation, than the kick game. One more from Groh, and that should wrap up this segment. Again, no scoring with these special teams, so the defense leads 10-7, and that lead will stay. Get our first look at Marquise Wilson back there to field this punt. Low, very returnable for Wilson, who would have done exactly that. And that will, in fact, wrap up segment number 2 here with the defense enjoying a 3-point lead over the offense. USFL Week 2 continues later tonight. Birmingham Stallions take on Kevin Sumlin's Houston Gamblers. You can see it at 7 o'clock Eastern on FS1. Some former Nittany Lions are playing in the USFL these days. Christian Campbell, a corner for Penn State from 2014 through 2017 as part of the Tampa Bay Bandits. And in New Orleans playing for the Breakers, Sharif Miller, who did some very nice things from 2015 to 2018, former Penn State Nittany Lion defensive end. All right, so as we go into the third segment here, Matt, no scoring. This is all 7-on-7, but red zone,
right.
7-on-7. So what's the focus here? What is the coaching staff looking for?
Well, everything different, offensively, because things happen a lot faster and everything's shrunk down. So your angles change, the throws got to be changed. The quarterback has to be very aware of where he's at inside. And then because the field's so short, it's not like you're going to be able to you take a whole segment of your playbook out of it. So all your deep stuff is gone. The only way, if you want to win with speed, you have to run across the field, which of course takes time.
That was Sean Clifford's 5th pass of the day. That one intended for Kevon Lee. A little bit behind the running back, falls incomplete. This will be his 6th try again to Lee coming out of the backfield.
Normally what you do is defensively, the thinking is, obviously you can't let him into score. And so you're going to, a little bit of the zone down there, you'll play it tight, you match him up, and you make him throw underneath if you can. If they have like a Dotson, which is where he excelled down here in the red zone, because he could make you miss or he could beat you with speed, and then you find him in the back of the end zone.
Oh, we did ask James Franklin and Mike Yursich if they thought that with Jahan Dotson gone, is Parker Washington kind of ready to be that #1 guy, that alpha at wide receiver, take on the best corner from every opposing team? And Franklin said that there were times last year where he showed him he could be that guy, but he has to be that guy on a week-to-week basis in 2022.
And it's different because now he is the guy. A year ago, if he could step into that role, but Jahan was still fulfilling the role. And so Jahan still drew the best corner every time. So it's a little different, but I think he's very capable. He got great quick twitch.
All right, Clifford, again, really good coverage. Lee trying to break off his route into the end zone. He does, but defense has to feel really good about that because that's great coverage. On 7-on-7 like that, you're forcing the quarterback to scramble, leave the pocket 5-6 seconds after the snap.
Actually, Kobe King was on that coverage man-to-man. That's still a great job all the way around. That's a good throw, and that would be 6 right there. He did get a foot down in bounds, but I like Kobe King. I think he does some good things. I think he's good in coverage. I think he reads things pretty well, flows naturally.
Again, kind of working here on a lot of these coming out of the backfield, short-range throws. It's almost a glorified run game, Matt. It's an offensive coordinator's kind of security blanket when the run game is not there. You can almost use this pass game as a glorified run game to give your offensive line a little bit of a break.
Yeah, absolutely. But down here, the main thing is one thing only: score. You're here to score. That was Kobe King's brother, Kalen King, number 4 on the outside, which you saw a year ago. Oh, nice throw. Good decision. Just let it rip.
And over the middle to Lambert Smith. And it appears that Lambert Smith is going to be one of those guys this year, Matt, that lives in the middle.
So, look, Penn State will not lack for any kind of skill in the passing game. They've got great receivers. Their tight end room is killer. The running back rooms is killer. Their whole offense is going to be predicated on one thing and one thing only, and that's that offensive line. Defensively, on the other side, they've got a solid secondary. Their backers have to be replaced. They need to find a pass rusher. I think Mustafa will be able to handle the inside. He's coming back. Always liked him. But they got to get a pass rush guy.
Clifford back on the sidelines. See Veyu back in the game. Connecting there once again with Liam Clifford. It was funny, I asked Sean Clifford if when he had a sibling on the team, if he's saying, hey, big bro, you got to give me an extra look here and there. And he said, no chance. Yeah, exactly. He's going to have to earn every catch that he gets and every throw that I send his way.
And I understand that answer. And he's right.
So we've talked a lot about what you're looking for here offensively, Matt. What are you looking for defensively? I know this is an offensive-minded drill.
It is.
But if you're a defensive player, you're always trying to shut down whatever guy you're covering. So what's the defensive approach to the 7-on-7, especially in the red zone?
Yeah, well, so down here is just patience. A lot of it is patience. You have to be on your coverage if you're in man. But if you're playing any kind of zone, you have to be able to see the field and make your breaks. And preferably, you'd like everything to happen in front of you so you can go up and make the play.
Obviously, this red zone defense, 32 scores allowed in 40 trips. That's a great catch right there. Didn't see a lot of that against this defense a year ago. Going up and getting it. Trey Wallace, and that's a guy that Mike Yursich pointed out. We asked if there were any offensive players that maybe jumped out that surprised him a little bit, and he pointed out Trey Wallace, and you can see why.
Wow, that was really, he just picked it out of the air. Look at this ball. It's up and out away from everybody. He just went and got it. Really well done.
And really pretty good coverage from Johnny Dixon there, just not quite as tall, and the throw was absolutely perfect. And when Veyu spins it, he can really spin it. We asked about his arm strength. Certainly got plenty of arm strength there. Shows a little bit of touch to Singleton. Again, we see Singleton coming out of the backfield catching some passes.
Yeah, he beat Jamari Budden on the inside. So with Budden defensively, what you have to be able to do is you have to be able to take, when your guy's coming out of the backfield or you're down and tight, you have to take one thing away from the offensive player and make him go a certain way. So if you give him a two-way go, you lose. In that particular time, he got a little bit too high where he was covering. Instead of taking away the inside, he gave him a two-way go, and he beat him to the inside.
I think it'll be interesting to see how much we see Singleton and Katron Allen use, especially early in the year, because obviously from the very start, Kevon Lee comes on as the guy. Devin Ford is a guy who has a ton of experience. You want to get Allen, you want to get Singleton in there. It's just a matter of how much you want to use him, especially early in the year.
Yeah, I think you want to be patient. I think he did. I think Coach Franklin did a great job when Saquon was a freshman, and you could see the second game of the season, you could see who was the most talented guy there. But you can't just run him into the ground. You just have to introduce him slowly. By mid-season, if he's there, you let him go, and then you ride him.
And you got to get young guys some confidence and let them develop. There was another young guy that dropped that ball right there, Jerry Cross. You watched some film on Friday and mentioned that Cross was a guy that kind of jumped off the film a little bit.
Yeah, no, you can see he's got skills. Look, this is just the tip of the iceberg. They got a long ways to go. And they'll gain. The biggest difference in players is confidence. You can see it. When a guy gets some confidence, I see it with Velu. You see it right now. You can see a difference.
Drew Allers now.
Well, I understand.
But
when he was in earlier, you could see the difference in him. As opposed to a year ago, it's not even close. I saw the same thing with Matt McGloin. You could see the difference in Matt McGloin as he went. He just got more confidence, knew what he was doing, took to the coaching, and just ran with it.
And so Veyu, after a pretty nice showing there in the 7-on-7, replaced by Aller, and his first pass again, we've seen the pattern a little bit of being just a little bit behind with his throws. That's a nice throw.
Yeah. So what you're seeing, though, he went to his third option. So he's not quite. Look, he's got a long ways to go. He's doing fine. He's seeing what he's supposed to see. He's going through his reads. He's finding the open guy. Eventually, the game slows down a little bit, and that guy that looked like he was covered is now open, and you can fit it in there. That's what he'll do.
Yeah, but that's spoken like a guy who's played this game. It's not spoken like a fan who hears that a big-time quarterback recruit is coming in and automatically thinks you're going to have a Heisman Trophy winner in 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, that's called fantasy.
Fan is short for fantasy, after all, Matt.
Exactly. Well, the kid's got some skills. Just he'll develop it. Yursich is doing a nice job with him. He knows what he has. He knows what he has to work with, and he knows the people around him. So you give him the benefit of the doubt and let him work.
Well, we asked Mike Yursich, what do you want to see from young quarterbacks in the spring, not just with Drew Aller, but also with Bo Perbula? And he said, I want them to not make the same mistakes again. I've already seen them make silly mistakes. That's going to happen at their age and at their development level. But I know that they are learning things when they don't make that same mistake a second and a third time.
Yeah, I like Yursich. I think he's legit. let's if we can get a chance to talk to Matt McGloin here. Because right now, I want him to talk about the difference between a guy that you think is open and a guy who's really open. Because there's a big difference.
Matt?
Matthew.
Matt Millen was wondering, Matt McGloin, Matt Millen was wondering, what's the difference between thinking a guy is open and knowing a guy is really open?
Well, it's trusting what you see, right? Understanding coverage, understanding leverage, understanding where a defender is in comparison to where a wide receiver is. And it's also trusting that wide receiver. If I think you have a chance and I think you have an opportunity to create a big play for our offense, I'm going to give you an opportunity to go up and catch the football, right? But it's also understanding situations. Is it third down? Am I in the red zone? Am I backed up? Knowing when to take chances versus man versus certain coverages. A lot goes into it. But one of the things that, the only way you're going to learn is with experience, with practice, making mistakes, learning from it, continuing to get better and understanding where you need to go as a quarterback.
Yeah, so, Matt, right now I'm just watching this field. Let's take a look right now at the quarterback and walk us through this play from a quarterback perspective.
Gotcha, yeah, I've got two high safeties here. Down here in the red zone, you got to remember, tighter windows, things are going to happen a lot faster, but I want to attack the middle of the field right now. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Understanding, I'm in a second down situation there. I don't have what I like. Check it down, live to play another day. I've got third and short here. I can get the first down, but the end zone is where I want to be.
Go ahead, Matt, keep going. Tell me what you're seeing.
Now it's one eye here. We're in third and medium. It looks like it's man coverage here. I got to have somebody make a play for me. And here it is. Just has a tough time adjusting his body to that throw, but that's the right spot. That is the right area to go with the throw. Why, guys? Because, again, it's third down. I know I have 3 points in the bank as well. We don't convert the third down. We don't turn it over. We don't put it in harm's way. Here comes my field goal team. I have 3 points now.
Now you got a too high look. What are you doing?
Well, it looks like we had a running back line up in the wrong spot, so fantastic job of correcting him. But needs to be careful there. Ball was a little hot for such a short throw. Defenses, especially in the red zone, are itching for tips and overthrows, and that destroys drives, and that creates momentum for defenses. Needs to be careful there and take something off that throw.
All right, Matt, you got one more for us.
Yep, hey, man coverage went. He's a little late here, and I'm standing right in front of it. That's
exactly.
Close to being a touchdown. That is a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. He was a tad late, but Matt Millen, you and I were talking about this before the game started, right? I want to put air on the ball and let my wide receiver go get it,
right.
But if I'm late, I have to take air out of it, and I have to drive the football. And that's exactly what that was right there. That's a perfect throw.
The great throw and the great catch, just needed to have his foot 6 inches more inside.
Yeah, Evan Clark is going to say that's a touchdown because there is no instant replay
Exactly.
at the Penn State Blue-White game. Later tonight, you can catch softball. It is 10th-ranked Northwestern battling Indiana. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. You can watch it anywhere on the Fox Sports app. All right, so we stay at that 10-7 score as we wrap up this third segment here with final special teams period of the first half. What kind of jumped out to you there from watching that lengthy 7-on-7 in the red zone?
Well, I mean, those are offensive drills. That's the first thing. All the things that Matt was saying are true. So for me, when I'm looking at things, I'm looking at it from the other. That's a given. Like, I know, A, he's got to get rid of the ball fast, quick. B, I understand the receiver's he's got to be able to get separation down and quick. The balls are going to be there on top of you right away. So the closer the coverage, the better. So whenever there's a yin, there's a yang in football. The defensive side is doing one thing to take it away, and the offensive side is trying to create.
All right, so one more punt here in this special teams period. That will wrap up the third segment and the first half. of this game, and it's Gabriel Nwusu with the last punt here of the first half for Penn State on specials. Get some serious hang time under it when he connects.
He's got a pretty good leg.
All right, so that'll do it for the first half here with the defense holding a 10-7 lead over the offense. Overall impression so far from what you've seen, Matt?
I think the whole thing comes down to quarterback play. We saw that. And so you're looking for protections and you're looking for the run game. I think of what we've seen here, the run game is going to be fine because they have talented, skilled backs. Still going to come down to that offensive line. They're going to have to get better, and they know that. In the passing game, I think the tight ends and the wide receivers, there's more than enough talent. It's just going to be protecting the quarterbacks.
And it's a little bit harder to assess defensively as you rotate guys in and out, and there's so much 7-on-7. There's so much Skelly. We talked about the depth that they have up front. Manny Diaz wants to rotate 8 or 9. A lot of guys that can play corner or safety. I think the bigger questions right now at the linebacker position, who emerges at the mic, is Jonathan Sutherland ready to make that transition from the defensive backfield to become a really good Sam linebacker?
Yeah, and so we really even haven't discussed that part, but really the biggest thing here when you're talking about, you're kind of handcuffed right now as a coach when you're calling a game, a spring game. You're not going to do anything. So what you're going to do, your Manny Diaz. Look, Manny Diaz, I guarantee you're going to like how aggressive he is. He's one of those guys who dials up a lot of looks. He'll give you a lot of blitzes. Sometimes he'll give you the same look and it won't blitz. So he makes you guess and stay off balance all the time. So that's one of the things you're going to get out of Manny that we're not even getting close to that right now.
And we want to let everybody watching know that we're going to stay here for the spring football awards here for Penn State, and my understanding is we're ready to listen in right now as we do exactly that.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now time to recognize the 2022 Spring Practice Award winners. The Jim O'Hara Award is presented to the defensive player for exemplary conduct, attitude, and improvement during Penn State spring practice each year. The 2022 Jim O'Hara Award winner this year, Jair Brown. The Red Morrell Award, presented annually to the offensive player for exemplary loyalty, interest, and improvement during our spring practice period. The 2022 Red Morrell Award winner is Olu Fashanu. Coach's Special Teams Award is presented to a player for exemplary loyalty, interest, and improvement in special teams during Penn State spring practice. The 2022 Coach's Special Teams Award winner, Barney Amore. And our final award is the Frank Patrick Total Commitment Award. Is presented to the squad members consistently following through with their responsibilities in all facets of our program in an exemplary manner. We have 2 winners this year. They are Tyler Warren and Nick Tarberton.
Much more from State College as we continue our coverage of the Blue-White Spring game right after this on the Big Ten Network. I'm going to guess it wasn't a peel the paint off the walls halftime speech from James Franklin as the defense leads the offense 10-7 after the first half of the Penn State Blue-White Spring game. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth here at Beaver Stadium. Rick Pizzo, Matt Millen. A lot of the spring game always about seeing what the young guys and the new faces can provide. That certainly was the case here in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, there are a couple of givens. You were given that your offensive line's not where it's supposed to be. That's the first thing. And then the other 2 givens are, where the heck are these freshmen? And so I think what you saw, the Singleton is as advertised. I think that kid's going to be legit. And Drew Aller is a little hesitant right now, typical for a young quarterback. It's especially typical in his first time out in front of people who doesn't want to make mistakes, holding on to the ball just a little bit too much. That'll fade fast.
Freshmen often do freshman-type things, especially in this type of environment. Let's check in now with the third member of our broadcast crew, field level. Here's Matt McGloin.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with all Big Ten defensive tackle P.J. Mustipher, who decided to return for his 5th year. But most importantly, P.J., how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm ready to go. I wish I was out there. We got a little more work to do in the rehab, but I'm close.
Defensive coordinator Manny Diaz is now taken over as you continue to prepare and get healthy. What are the things you've been able to learn from him so far?
That he wants to get after the ball carrier and quarterback. He likes TFLs, sacks, all that. So we're just going to create havoc. I've had the opportunity since I'm hurt to be close by him on the field. On the sideline. So, I'm excited for what he has, and I can't wait to get out there.
As spring ball begins to wrap up here after today, and you guys head into summer and to prepare for training camp, what's the mindset of this defense?
Keep getting better. We got to just keep improving every day, and if we focus on that, the rest will take care of itself.
All right, thank you so much, PJ. Get healthy. We look forward to seeing you on the field in the fall.
All right, we're set to restart play here at the Blue-White Spring game. 4th segment now. This is the offense starting at the -40. Only going to go 6 plays total here, assuming they pick up at least a first down. And you can see exactly how excited Manny Diaz was with the first play his defense made to start the second half.
And he started the second half with an inside blitz, brought both backers to the inside on a crossing blitz, and stuffed them right there. So you're going to get a lot more aggressiveness out of Manny Diaz as the season goes on.
Looked like that defensive charge was led by Keziah Izzard.
You're also going to get a more aggressive approach from this run game, as you're seeing right here. This is nice by Singleton. I like this kid. He's going to need some help, but he does some things naturally. It's just innate.
Tackle there by Nick Tarburton, a guy who's going to be a really important cog of this defensive line. Manny Diaz says he wants his guys to be intense. He wants his guys to be tough, and maybe nobody's tougher than that guy right there, number 46.
He plays hard. He plays really hard. He's one of those guys who leaves it all out there on the field.
So we've got about a 3rd and 5 here for the offense here. Again, scoring back in place here as we start the second half. This one's set to go no more than 6 plays total before we go back to another special team segment. Mitchell Tinsley in motion. The pass downfield. Is that caught?
No.
Incomplete.
Great effort by Mega.
Malik Mega went up and nearly brought that down. A guy that they think can do a lot of things for this offense. We saw him come from that wide receiver position, take a little bit of an inside pitch in a glorified pass that was really a run play, and seen the quarterbacks target him quite a few times already in this scrimmage, Matt.
Nice job by Jair Brown in that coverage as well, giving him only one place to throw that ball, and it had to be perfect. Good job.
Over the middle, there's Tinsley. He's got quite a bit of shake to him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Tinsley's going to be fine. He looks like he adapted. It looks like he's a kid who's played. That's what he looks like. He's got some confidence, knows what he's doing in this offense. Really well done. He knew he was going to take a hit and just took the hit. Nicely done by getting rid of the ball quickly there by...
Yeah, Bayou's looked really good.
He's not afraid. He lets it fly. No hesitation whatsoever.
Now, there are 2 number 9s that are on the roster right now because Bo Pribula is also listed as 9. If you're looking for a way to differentiate the two, because they're also both wearing knee braces on their left knee, the back of Bayou's helmet does have the Canadian maple leaf flag there, Matt. So look closely, just a little bit of a way to differentiate the two guys, because I'm having a heck of a time doing it.
Yeah, well, this 64-year-old eyes can't see him from up there.
There you go. There you see the flag. Bayou, an Ontario native out of Ottawa. 4 Canadians actually on this Penn State team. James Franklin doesn't mind going north of the border. Got to have that passport ready. Got to set up a 4th and 5 now for Bayou in this offense. Looks deep downfield.
Oh, a nice matchup there. He liked Warren, but King was right on top of him. That's kind of a mismatch for the defense. You like that. If I'm going to have a tight end on a corner, you like my chances. The only thing that you wouldn't like is if he throws it up high and Warren could just be physical on him. But King held him right where he's supposed to be, right on his hip, and used the sideline as your help.
Jair Brown was a guy, Matt, that made a play early in that drive, and I loved Manny Diaz telling us that he's such a leader that if every guy on the team had the mentality and approach of Jair Brown, they wouldn't even need coaches. They could just coach themselves and play the game.
Yeah, you love guys like that, man. You love guys who have a coaching mentality. They love to learn. They love to help young players. They like to get them better. And Jair Brown's one of those guys. He had a great year last year. I expect him to have the same thing this year.
They obviously feel really good about him at the boundary safety, and Manny Diaz was telling us that a young guy, Zakee Wheatley, could do some good things on the field alongside Keaton Ellis. They feel really good about where they are, both talent-wise and depth-wise in the back end.
Yeah, it's always good to have more talent than less, that's for sure.
So it makes a great coach, right, to have the best players.
Got it.
All right, so we go back to specials here. Haven't updated the score, so we're not sure if the defense is going to be credited with a couple of points there since the offense went for it on 4th down. But again, to the kickoff, and this is Pinniger one more time. No points, I'm told, for the defense on that one, so we remain at 10-7. Seen a couple of different guys on the kickoff, and I think that's a competition that's going to last all the way into fall camp, maybe until the week of that first game. Of course, Penn State opening up at Purdue in conference on the road. We heard so much about that from the coaches. Several specific mentions, Matt, when we talked with them this week about the fact that they have a conference game, a road conference game in week 1 against a team that's coached by a guy with a pretty good offensive mind.
Jeff Brom is as good as it gets. I think Jeff is as creative as you can be. He uses what he has, and he takes advantage of the defense. He's very good at matching what he has against what you don't. And so Jeff Brom's one of those guys, especially in a game like this where they're opening up. He's had a lot of time to put into it. Now you're going to have to be ready for their best stuff.
All right, one more kickoff here to wrap up our special team session of this segment. And Gabriel Nwosu, who we've seen quite a bit in both the kick and punt game already this afternoon. And we will now go back to 7-on-7. Scheduled here to run about 8 plays. And this, I believe, will officially be scored like the rest of the game. Before we get to that 7-on-7, we head back down to Matt McGloin.
Hey guys, I'm here with one of the best to ever step foot inside Beaver Stadium, and that is LeVar Arrington. LeVar, how special is it to be back here each and every spring for the game?
Is it real special for me to be back here? It's special for us. It's special for us, Matt. It's special to be back at the Blue-White game. And I got my man with me. I got my mans. I got the sticks with me. I got the lion with me. I got everything I need with me. I got the fans with me. Big Ten Network got what we need.
When you take a look at this year's team, defensively specifically, what do you see from them?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with this group yet. I got to get in my lab. Me and the Nittany line are going to get in the lab. We're going to study these guys, and I will have what I need scouting report-wise the next time I talk to you. But this is the first group that I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know, because I don't have an expectation yet.
Yeah, a lot of young guys, a lot of big recruits, of guys that are certainly looking to develop, put great things on film, and that starts today. Yeah. Has anybody stood out to you today, though? Any number, any player where you say, I think that guy has a chance?
Oh, 16 at safety.
Okay, yeah.
From Lackawanna. You know, those kids. Whatever Coach Duda is doing with them there at that safety cornerback's position, he's doing an excellent job, because there's some pretty special dudes. You know, Jamari Budden, I'm interested to see how he does. Young talent. What's number? Is it 28? 23. 23 at linebacker. I'm hearing a lot of good things about. What's his name? Tell me his name.
Curtis Jacobs, number 23. Yeah, is that a position? Obviously, having done what you did at that position throughout your entire career, is that a position you watch more closely than any other spot?
This is linebacker. I watch that position closely. So, but I mean, I like watching all of them, though. You know, I'm excited to see Cliff try to make good on it, finish out strong. I'm just hoping that we have a year, honestly, where we beat Ohio State. I mean, I just want to win against Ohio State.
Absolutely. And listen, you're one of the best to ever do it. It's great to see you today. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hey, get this man his own show.
You're the best, man. You're the best. Appreciate it. You're the best. There's a pick.
LeVar Arrington would certainly like that. Interception by Dominic DeLuca, who we saw earlier with a sack, having a nice afternoon. See how this one went down as Drew Aller back in the quarterback.
Yeah. Didn't see him coming from the inside out. He's seeing just seeing the receiver make the break to the inside and thinks he has it, but that's just a young mistake.
Yeah, he was looking for Amari Evans, who was cutting across the middle, but DeLuca did a great job stepping underneath.
Remember what Mike Yurcich said. Remember, it's okay. What he wants him to do is make mistakes. Don't make them twice.
Don't do it again. Jaden Dotton there with the catch. Dotton's had quite a few catches today. A guy who's obviously trying to fight his way into what's a pretty crowded wide receiver room.
Yeah, I think very crowded.
Allard now picked a couple of times today, the sack, a couple of throws behind his receiver. Now there's a nice throw. Had the feet set there, Matt. Nice toss there for Dotton out in front of him. Something he could do with after he catches it.
Yeah, and he knew what he was going to do right away. As soon as the ball was snapped, he just took it and saw what the coverage was, just step and throw. He just needs to be a little more decisive. Look, what he needs to be is more seasoned. He's just a kid. He's got the tools. He'll develop.
Should be the last 7-on-7 play here as Allard takes the snap and looks deep. He does have a man. He has Amari Evans unable to make the connection. Man, he's looked for Evans a lot already this afternoon.
He tried to push the ball down the field a couple times, but he'll get there.
All right, as we break away from 7-on-7 and go back to special teams, we take a look at the schedule. We talked about the Purdue opener. What else stands out, Matt?
Auburn had it. They beat them a year ago. Penn State beat Auburn a year ago, and then what's going to happen here? You're at Auburn. Get ready to play a war because it's going to be tough down there. And then coming back after the bye, you got to be ready for that Michigan team. It's at Michigan again. There's some big time games coming. That's a great schedule.
It is a great schedule. That's a tough schedule. You go Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, back-to-back weeks. The great news is you have a bye before you start that stretch. Normally, I think most coaches would say that's a little early for the bye, just 5 weeks in. I think when you have those 3 games in consecutive weeks, it's a great time to have a week off.
Yeah, actually, so you got to get ready for a Big Ten guy. Jeff Brahms, you're going to have to be ready because Jeff will have you figured out. And then you go down there to Auburn, and Auburn's going to have some horses like they always do. They're going to be physical. It's going to be hot. It's going to be loud. It's a great place to play a game. You got to be ready for that. And then you got to still do your other work, right? There's other guys to take care of. And then you have your bye, and then you've got to knock one off on Michigan.
I think the Purdue opener is fascinating because, understandably so, and rightfully so, all the talk is about how you're going to do against the Jeff Brom offense. But remember, Purdue's defense made one of the biggest leaps in the country last year. They went from being a defense a few years ago that you felt like it was a given you were going to get 350, 400 yards against. Last year, they really shut teams down. All right, so that should wrap up our special teams and the 4th segment here at the Blue-White Spring game. Don't forget, coming up on July 10th, the BTN Big 10K returns home to Soldier Field in Chicago. Runners can choose between a 10K or 5K option, followed by an unforgettable tailgate party. All participants receive a school-specific t-shirt and a Big Ten medal. And if you can't make it to Chicago, you can participate virtually wherever you live. Register right now at btnbig10k.com.
Everybody gets a medal?
Everybody gets a medal, Matt. Well, as long as you run in the race.
Oh, darn it.
You have the 5K and the 10K option. I prefer the 0K, which I think you're on board with.
Thank you. I already signed up for that one.
I'll drive 5 or 10K if you like. All right, we head to our 5th segment, the defense with 3 more points there. So it's 13-7. Defense leading the offense. Everybody always says early in the year and in spring football that defense is ahead of the offense. Is that just cliche, or you think that's actually true?
Nah, that's true. Yeah, that's always been true, and it continues to be, even with all the rule changes and stuff. And they're changing the rules constantly, but defense usually is ahead, especially in the spring.
All right, so our 5th segment starts at the plus 45 for the offense. Sean Clifford back on the field for the first time in a minute here. Clifford handing off, and some nice burst up the middle from Katron Allen. Faster than advertised, maybe, Matt.
No, that's the first thing I noticed when I put the tape on. Katron Allen, once he sees this, watch right here. Now, there's a little burst right there. And he's physical. Now, he'll roll, he'll put his shoulder down, he'll run right through you.
I got to tell you, he does not look like a 216, 220-pound guy. He looks thinner than that, but he can lower the boom and he can run.
Oh, no, that's a good player. I think they got more than was advertised with Katron.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job. So he picks up the first down. Ball now on the 34, gain of 11. It's back to Allen, inside traffic in the middle. There's your guy, Kobe King, quickly on the stop.
Yeah, nice read, good reaction to Kobe right there. I just think, like I mentioned a couple times, he's just got good instincts. You're going to watch him, you see right there, number 41. He's just diagnosing what's in front of him. Now see it, now hit it. Yeah, so he let it develop. It was a quick trap. He just had to get on top of it so the guard couldn't get him. He cleared that and then go make the play. Well done.
All right, 2nd and 10 for the offense. Clifford remains on the field, flanked once again by Allen to his right. A couple of wide receivers far left. Back to Allen. Allen off the left side for maybe one if he gets back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps. Again, nice job by that defensive front, kind of clogging up all the holes.
Vandenberg, 52, is right there. King again was there. Vandenberg was a guy that kind of jumped off the tape too. He's a high-effort guy. You know, has some little bit of quick twitch to him, but what he really does is he plays hard. He's a little bit like Tarver on the outside. You always know what you're going to get from him.
Obvious passing situation here for Clifford. Once again, 3rd and 11 from the 35. Practicing with a change of play at the line of scrimmage. That audible called in from the sidelines. It's the inside handoff. Allen picks up about 6. The knee went down just inside the 30. He's going to be well short of the first down. So it'll set up 4th and 5, and not sure if we're going to go to a special team segment here, if they're just going to try a field goal. I think this is just going to be a field goal attached to the drive. And again, so this scoring should be normal. Looks like about 47 yards here for Sander Sahadak. Be a nice look for the young guy. It is good. So Sahadak is perfect on the day. That looked good. Plenty of distance from 47.
Enough leg for more than that.
So the offense now pulls to within 3. Now we'll officially go to the special team segment that kind of bridges the drives. We'll get one more offense versus defense from the plus 45 once again in this segment, but it'll follow a couple of special teams plays.
Yeah, so Sahadak did a nice job there. He's a Lehigh Valley kid, Bethlehem. Now, if you're from Lehigh Valley, you say Bethlehem. If you're not from the Lehigh Valley, you say Bethlehem.
I think there's a city or town like that in every state.
Exactly. He's a Bethlehem kid. He went to Liberty.
Some situational punting here, trying to pin the ball inside the 20, preferably inside the 10. That was the freshman Mitchell Groh that we've seen on quite a few punts already today. Then one more here from the same spot, and it'll be Gabriel Nwosu once again.
You know what I've noticed? All of a sudden, the officials got a lot smaller.
And smarter.
And smarter, yeah, exactly. On every officiating crew, there's one guy there's one person on that crew that really has to take control and take charge. Good punt. Good job of letting it get down there to the one or inside the one. And that's the umpire. The umpire is the person who has to control the inside of that game. And so if you let it get out of control, it can get pretty ugly in there. But if you take control right from the start and let them know that you're there and you're going to enforce stuff, then you can control the game pretty well. So it was always the goal of the middle linebacker. I'm not saying I ever did this.
Never, I'm sure
I would
never.
never do that. You want to take control of the game.
You know, it's funny because now that you're retired and don't play anymore and you're up here in the booth and we become friends with the officials, you can talk about how smart one of them actually may be. I'm doubting that happened during your playing days.
Nah, there were some really good officials. I mean, really good ones. And you knew which guys, you want them to be able to take the game over. You want them to be able to be the ones in control, because if not, there's going to be chaos out there. Because if I'm not taking it over, somebody else is. So the officials got to be the person in control out there, that the umpire controls the inside where all that chaos happens.
All right, back to offense versus defense and the scoring back in effect. Sean Clifford could potentially be done for the day. It's Nick Singleton up the middle, but not much there for Singleton. That defensive line doing a really nice job as we've rotated through the ones, the twos, and even some threes getting in there to see some action.
Yeah, so you got a bunch of guys are coming. You're also doing the same thing on the other side. See, Nick Dawkins is in there, number 66, the offensive line. Looks like he's at center. Dawkins is a real smart kid from Parkland High School, big kid.
And so we actually have Bo Perbula now into the game. Again, like Vayu, wearing number 9. You won't see the Canadian flag on the back of his helmet. Young guy, like Aller, out of York, Pennsylvania, about 6'2", 200. And Yersic says, just like Drew, shown some great signs, but made a few mistakes along the way.
They're all going to make mistakes. That's what you want them to do, get their mistakes out now so they can learn from them. The biggest thing is make mistakes and still gain some confidence. And I think that's what this kid's been able to do, because when you watch this film, he's not afraid to sling it.
3rd and 11. Perbula looks downfield, not much there. We have a sack. A couple of more points for the defense, doing a really nice job here in the second half. That's Amir Vanover with the 2 points for the D.
Just a sophomore. And he's from St. Joe's down in the Bronx. No, he's in Newark. Augie Hoffman, I know his head coach.
Who don't you know? Defense with a 15-10 lead. More from the Penn State spring game right after the break. Start of the fourth quarter here at the Penn State spring game, where the defense enjoys a 5-point lead over the offense. Coming up next, Big Ten men's lacrosse. The Nittany Lions challenging 4th-ranked Rutgers. Live coverage begins next on the Big Ten Network, and you can always watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. And we are set up for the 6th of 8 segments here at the Blue-White Spring game. We expect a 2-minute situation here for the offense. Not necessarily the full 2 minutes, not necessarily the clock working exactly as you would, but we're going to keep it as fairly close to regular rules as you would find on a normal game day.
And so Clifford's back out there. The first team offensive line is back out there. The first team defense is out there. So it's not a good position for the quarterback to be in. He's been sitting over there cooling down. And
Matt, he's played for 6 years. There's a minute 45 on the clock, so we're expecting to go with a minute 45 drill instead of the 2-minute drill, starting from the minus 41. And it's a handoff to start to Devin Ford, really the first time we've called his name today. No gain in the play.
Well, and Akeem Beeman, who I love. I think that kid is really a good player, number 51. Got great quick twitch. First 2 steps are really good. He's the one who stopped them back there and is going to set up this 3rd down.
Nice hands there by Keandre Lambert-Smith on the connection from Clifford. We got a 3rd and 3 with the clock just over a minute to play.
There's Beeman.
Clifford to his right. Sees nothing, to the sidelines, picks up the first down, gets out of bounds.
Smart. Know exactly where you're at on the field, know the situation. Well done by Sean Clifford.
1:06 to play on the clock, on the plus side of midfield now. Penn State should have a couple of timeouts in play should they need to take them during this 2-minute drill.
Single high. Looks like they're matching up. See if they don't bring some heat here with Manny.
2 wide receivers on each side. Now one goes in motion. That's Mitchell Tinsley to the outside and the inside handoff. What a great play call. Devin Ford rips off a huge chunk down inside the 30.
They faked the blitz and they caught him in it. This call by Mike Yersich. Good anticipation.
Really a great kick-out block by Landon Tangwell.
Tangwell did a good job. Yeah, Nick Dawkins does a good job on the inside. Tangwell does. Juice Scruggs does a nice job. Really well done.
That's got to be a nice sign for Mike Yersich. You call a play in which you basically need 2 or 3 guys to come up with key blocks at the point of attack to free your running back, and all 3 guys do exactly what they're asked to do.
Well, they'll break it down on the film. Sometimes you do everything right, you're still wrong.
Well, that one worked out for a first down. We're going to say that Ford was actually touched just inside the 35, not the 30. Still plenty of time on the clock. Started with 1:45, only run 45 seconds of elapsed time off, and Clifford has this offense in what would already be pretty close to field goal range in a regular game situation. 5 wideouts now, empty backfield. Tinsley goes in motion. Clifford changing it at the line. He's given full leniency to do that. He can call any change he wants at this point. Goes over the middle into double coverage. Lucky that that one falls incomplete. Looking for Malik Mega.
They've been going to Mega quite a bit, but that was going to be a really tough throw to the inside. Gets nice protection. That's Wheatley there.
Yeah, nice coverage to Key Wheatley. Yeah. That's just the 6th play of the drive now, under a minute to play. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Penn State White offense. Sean Clifford. The handoff, nice cutback by Ford. Doing some really nice running on this drive.
Really nice cutback, and he was able to pick up a block by Dawkins, number 66, that right guard. You know, his dad was Darryl Dawkins, the old basketball player.
Who could dunk as well as anyone in history.
Good kid, really smart kid as well. You're going to watch this. Watch Dawkins. He has to follow to the outside, stays with on Jacobs. That's really well done, staying with that block. And that gets Devin Ford up to the next 2nd level. And he picked up some nice yardage there.
You had to set up a much more manageable 3rd and 2. And again, in what would be a expected passing situation, Yersich going with the run play, something he told us that they're going to have to do more and more of this year. So now plenty of time left on the clock. 3rd and 2, time's not really an issue. Be interesting to see in this situation, you have a timeout left. Are you committed fully to the run game on 3rd and 2 in the 2-minute drill from this spot on the field?
Which would be a great question if it was September.
It's still a great question in April. It's just not as important.
That's a good point.
So Clifford once again directs traffic at the line. He's got a heavy set to the left. It's a sprint out to the left and a throwback, and a great job again. Zakee Wheatley did not buy any of the eye candy going on in the offensive backfield.
Excellent job. That's what you have to be able to do. You got to stay on your guy. Wheatley did a really nice job. Now, the ball could have been thrown a little bit better, but he's on top of his coverage. And that ball may have been even tipped a little bit. Or at least disrupted there in the front.
And so we go with the field goal. We've got Jake Pinniger from 43 yards. Penn State unable to connect for the touchdown on that 2-minute drive, but 3 points will make the offense feel a little bit better about the effort. Pinniger is good.
Not even close.
Well, the kick game has looked really good today. Because you remember a year ago, Pinnaker gave way to Stout on a lot of those longer field goals. That one had the distance from 55 and maybe a little change.
He's been spending time in the weight room.
Looks like we'll go some more special teams here, Matt. Why not? Special teams look really good, especially in the kick game so far. That 2-minute drill, interesting that you mentioned they bring Clifford back in after sitting there for a while. I think that's less for Sean Clifford. It's more probably for the guys around him.
Absolutely, especially up front. Yeah, and on the defensive side. Good drills, good work.
All right, so we've moved on to the 7th of our 8 segments. This, again, a non-scored segment because it will only be special teams. So the offense gets the 3 for the Pinnaker field goal, and so they pulled to within 15-13. For those of you at home keeping track with the scoring, which I know is everybody right now.
That's still another 45-yard kick right there. It was a piece of cake for him.
Yeah, now the lefty, Sahadak, from that same distance. He showed us before that he's got plenty of leg from this distance.
Oh, yeah. A little bit on the low side there. Still good. And Juice Scruggs, you can see him right there, number 7. He played guard. They moved him to the inside. Juice is one of those guys who can be real physical. You also have to be able to see everything when you're playing center and call it all out and get everybody on the same page. He has that capability as well.
All right, now we're backing up these field goals, Matt. We're going about 50 now with Pinnaker first.
Wide to the right.
Yeah, I think the first miss that we've seen from either of those kickers so far today. Now Sahadak will try the same distance from the other hash. This would officially be a 49-yarder.
He's a lefty kicker as well. Piece of cake.
Terrific day. All right, and that should wrap up the final special team segment and brings us to what we expect to be the last segment of this blue-white game and the segment that will decide who gets steak tonight and who gets hot dogs. One drive, plus 45, offense versus defense. Did you guys do that kind of stuff in your day?
No.
Winners get steak, losers get hot dogs?
No.
Winners got hot dogs,
losers fend for yourself.
You get the vending machine.
I went home to my mom and she made some halupkis.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds better than hot dogs.
It's delicious. You know, pigs in a blanket. Have you ever heard of pigs in a blanket?
Of course I've heard of pigs in a blanket.
That's what halupki is. Yeah.
Halupki sounds better. Sounds much more exotic.
It does, but it's still just a lump of meat inside a piece of cabbage.
Don't you love it when they put up the graphics of the announcers when we're talking about the most important stuff of the afternoon, the halupkis?
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't even get to the pierogi yet. Oh, geez, forget that.
We need another hour or so. All right, final drive here. Offense versus defense. Offense needs at least 3 points to get their halupkis tonight. And it's Drew Aller back in for this final drive. Big fella takes off, shows a little bit of mobility. Picks up the first down. It's a gain of about 12 for the freshman.
James Franklin wasn't happy about something in there. He beat everybody down to the ball.
Going some high tempo here. Fakes the inside handoff. Aller again leaves the pocket. Ah, there you go. Love to see that decision making.
Franklin liked it too. He got a low 5 from him.
Live to fight another day, young man.
Just see it and throw it. You see it, it's there, throw it. If not, get rid of it. Things are going real fast for him right now. And a lot of other players as well. They're having a problem getting set up right now.
3 wides to the left, just 1 back, offset to the left of Aller. 2nd and 10 for the offense. Fakes the handoff, goes to the outside. Aller connects with Caden Saunders.
That was the same play they ran for the touchdown. Same exact thing. Except they got a 3rd defender over there, and this time he was able to make the play.
That one gains 4, sets up 3rd and 6 now for this offense. Just about in field goal range. They're going to have a chance to win it, barring a turnover. Turnover or a stop here, and the defense officially wins the game. Looks to his right, throws, got the connection. That is going to be really close. Ball's on the ground.
Fumbled it, went backwards, and that's where the ball would be marked.
It was Saunders again. I believe he recovered his own fumble. Is it going to be a first down? They are going to mark him down at the 21, move the sticks. First down for Aller and the offense.
Oh, got a hand on it.
Ball was out.
That was hard to tell.
That ball was out. All right, 1st and 10 for the offense at the 21. Aller's got 2 receivers to each side. Looks to his right, he goes up top, he's got a man, he overthrows Amari Evans, had his man beat in the right corner of the end zone.
He wanted to go up to the top left side, but the coverage he saw that he had, he came back to the back side where he had a similar thing. See, now he's going to come all the way back here, and he just lets it rip. That's what I like. Just a little bit too much mustard on it, but I did like that. He came back and just let it go.
5 straight pass plays. Aller is out, and I believe that's Bo Perbula. Back in, gets a couple more plays in this more critical type situation for the offense. Comes in to face a 2nd and 10 with the ball on the 21, needing a score to give the offense the win. Kind of the same set for Penn State's offense here. 4 receivers, 2 on either side. Saunders goes in motion.
Playing zone, you see.
And the keep to Perbula, who goes the route. Is he waved down? Is he touchdown? The officials are calling him touchdown at the 8-yard line.
Touchdown?
Touched down.
Touched
Not
down.
a touchdown.
Got
he
it.
is down at the 8-yard line.
You know what gave it away is when you said touchdown at the 8-yard line. You can't have that.
No, not in the history of football. Just touched right there. Zakee Wheatley got a hand on the hip. They'll mark him at the 7. 1st and goal for Penn State's offense.
Yeah,
Chance for the win. 7 yards away from Steak and Halupkis. Perbula, buying time, he's taken down. He is touched there at the 10. I believe that's going to be a sack. So we'll go to 17-13. That means a field goal is no good here for the offense. We need 6.
Spencer Perry, 93. Good job, Spencer Perry. Way to not give up. Keep on working at it. Just a freshman.
Got 3 wide receivers, split right, 1 to the left. Perbula back in the shotgun. Looks to his right, over the middle. Saunders once again. Taken down quickly at the 3. Set up 2nd and 3rd and goal, I should say.
3rd and goal. They got 2 downs.
They got 2 plays to win it.
So your defense, now, normally, I guarantee they're going to bring pressure in a normal situation. You're going to lock it up man, and you're going to bring some pressure.
Perbula the snap. Fakes the inside handoff.
Nope.
Goes to the freshman tight end, Jerry Cross. He is taken down and out of bounds at the 2. We are down to 1 final play for all the marbles here at the Penn State Spring game. It's about as much drama as you can have in Big Ten football, man.
I guarantee if Manny Diaz is in a regular game, bring the house right here. Oh, he got a one-on-one on the top side with nobody around him. He's got to like that.
This is it. Bo Pribula with his chance to be a spring hero for Penn State. Fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, man in his face. Got to throw it. He does to the back of the end zone, and I believe it's caught.
No, incomplete. He was caught, but he
Maury Evans lands out of bounds.
Nice job by the official. Keeping an eye right on.
Came in to call it a touchdown. The other waved it off.
Yeah, she was right in the back of the end zone. Does a really nice job.
There's the catch. Yes, that first foot is down. The left foot is out of bounds. Incomplete. Defense holds on to win 17-13.
Nice job by the official. Right on the line, exactly where she needs to be. Great job.
And the call right away by the back judge. Let's head back down to the field. Matt McGloin is with Penn State head man James Franklin.
I'm here with Coach Franklin. He's still arguing. He thinks it's a touchdown, as we can see up here on the Jumbotron. Coach, now that spring football has just officially ended, as you take a quick look back, what has stood out to you?
Well, as an offensive guy, was that a touchdown?
Oh, always, especially a touchdown pass that was, yeah.
No doubt. I thought we got 15 really good practices, and we stayed healthy. We're a little limited on the offensive line in terms of numbers, but I thought we managed it like you saw today. So overall, I thought it was good. We got some questions answered. We still got to resolve some things before before Purdue, but overall, very good.
You mentioned the run game this week and how you made that commitment to it throughout the spring. How have you improved in that phase of the game?
Well, it's like anything else, right? You get good at what you emphasize. And we want to be able to do that for 4-minute offense. We want to be able to do that to take some pressure off of our passing game. We want to do that to be able to help our offensive line out protection, also help our defense. If we got to run the ball to win the game, we got to be able to do that. We got to throw the ball to win the game, we got to be able to do that. And I'm going to make sure that we spend enough time on either so we're able to.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Best of luck this year.
Brother.
Man, you hate to break it to Coach Franklin that the call was correct and that Amari Evans was, in fact, out of bounds. Even as an offensive guy, that was the case. Another offensive guy standing by with Matt McGloin.
Guys, I'm here with Sean Clifford. Sean, another year in blue and white, playing in the spring game. Does it feel like it's been 6 years?
It's flown by, for sure. But, I mean, I'm so grateful, so thankful just to be here one more year, be able to put on the blue and white one more time, and I know how much it means to everybody, so I'm really excited to represent.
What was your focus this spring entering your 6th year?
Yeah, consistency. Number one thing, consistency. Every practice coming out, being the same guy. I felt really great at the beginning of the season. Once that injury hit, I wasn't as consistent on the back end. I just got to be consistent.
Well, it's great to have you back. Best of luck this year.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Matt, Sean, thank you very much. Turned out to be an amazing day here at Penn State as we listen in to the end of the game here at Beaver Stadium. Our congratulations to the defense who holds on for a 17-13 win here at the Penn State Blue-White game. That'll wrap up our coverage from Beaver Stadium in State College. For Matt Millen and Matt McGloin, I'm Rick Pizzo. Spring football is done at Penn State as they look ahead to the Big Ten opener against Purdue this fall.